probably tell by my bad lighting, my bad audio, and the fact that I'm recording this on an Android, that this is a very low quality ASMR video, if you can even call it that. I started watching ASMR almost a year ago. It started with me just listening to the sounds of rain on YouTube to help me fall asleep. But then I started listening to library sounds, because libraries to me are some of the most calming places that you can be in. When I was in high school, the library was often a place I'd go to when I didn't have, sorry, I was out of frame. I didn't have anywhere else to go. And there was the sounds of people turning pages, speaking quietly, whispering to each other, tap tap tapping of the keyboard, sounds of scribbling on a page. They're all very calming to me, just like noise in general. I used to hate the sound of people whispering into the microphone because I detest mouth sounds, and when you're whispering into the microphone like this, those sounds that you may not intend to make are somehow amplified anyway. So, for the sake of my own sanity, I am going to try my best not to make many mouth sounds, even though I know there are a lot of people out there who don't mind it. I think the majority of the population will disagree, but anywho, let's just get into this very low quality, unedited ASMR video for sad people. So, I don't know what is going on in your life right now. You may be dealing with a myriad of issues. If you're wondering what this is a hemp rolling paper, and it makes this really pleasant crinkling sound. Hey, you may be going through a breakup, loss of a loved one. Maybe you're dealing with depression. I don't know what's going on in your life right now, but one of my favorite things to do is to just ramble and to say may or may not help you. If it doesn't, then that's okay. But if it does, I thank you for sticking around for this more extreme sport and ASMR video. But I just want to start off by saying I might not understand your pain specifically, but I do understand the feeling of being alone. And it's like you have no one, you're completely alone in your situation, and you feel like you can't articulate yourself in a way that's productive and in a way that makes people understand how it is you're feeling and why it is that you act the way you do sometimes. Sneering, by the way. Oftentimes, anxiety can make us act out in ways that we normally wouldn't. In fact, what a lot of people don't know is that anxiety attacks, or just anxiety in general, don't always come in the form of hyperventilating or just, when you think of somebody having an anxiety attack, you imagine somebody being in just panic mode, their heart's racing in their chest. They might be shaking a little bit, might be crying, but anxiety can also come in the form of really sudden mood swings, bouts of sometimes irrational anger, which I have had happen. In fact, most of the time, my anxiety comes out in the form of anger or irritability. And when I'm in that mindset, it's very difficult for me to break out of it. And I end up acting out a lot and behaving in ways that maybe I shouldn't. Push people away. It's how I lost my best friend really recently. And I'm not exactly sure what there really is to say about that, other than it sucks. And I don't think that these types of problems always have the best solutions, but all I can say is that if I were somebody else, and if I weren't in this situation, and if I were watching somebody else go through the same thing, I would say to them, you just graduated high school, and your life has been in turmoil for a while now, and I think it's important that you take the time to be alone for a while and just let yourself exist without having to worry about just any of that. I think sometimes solitude is the best form of therapy. Not all the time. Of course, sometimes solitude is the worst thing for us. But if not solitude, then at least take a couple minutes to reflect on yourself and your own actions, and not necessarily trying to say that it's entirely your fault, because while I did say that I lost my best friend because of my own anxiety and anger issues, it was more like we were both just too mentally ill and just broken to really be there for each other in the way that we needed. And I think that's the case with a lot of friends, honestly. And it's not a nice feeling. It sucks because I think sometimes we use our friends as a replacement for a therapist. And it's not like we befriend somebody with the explicit intention to do this. It just sort of happens. And either people will notice, well, they may not notice for a while until it's too late. And I don't think it was too late for me and her. If I hadn't been a coward, and if I had just done the mature thing and apologized and tried to make it better instead of apologizing and running away, not literally, of course, we would still be friends. In fact, she did not express interest in ending the friendship altogether. That was something implanted in my head by my own hands. Anxiety makes us think certain things that are not true until they become true. I'm sure you've all heard of the self-fulfilling prophecy, but it's true. Sometimes you can think yourself into situations that you were worried about happening before, but wouldn't have happened otherwise. Again, I'm not trying to say that it's entirely your fault. I'm simply saying that sometimes the real enemy here is just your own mind being troubling, to say the least. And I think for anybody struggling with any kind of issue like that, or really anything at all, I think therapy obviously is the best option. A lot of people don't like the idea of therapy. I know somebody who is not a very big fan of it. Somebody that I live with. It didn't really work for them in the past. resentful toward therapists because they're under the impression that they don't really listen to you and that they're only there to just tell you what's wrong with you. I could be completely wrong on how this person views therapy, but the bottom line is they're not a huge fan of it. And I think the reason for that is fairly common. I think my response to that is therapy is not going to be an easy thing, and chances are you might not connect or click with the first therapist you meet right away. Just like with relationships outside of that, forming that bond takes a lot of time. Well, maybe not a lot of time, but it definitely takes time. It takes a little while for both to adjust to each other and to get to know each other and to just get to a point where you're comfortable talking to them about your life. Sometimes therapists don't work out. Sometimes you don't click with them at all, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you should give up or quit on therapy. It just means that you need to find somebody else. I don't think giving up on therapy is the way to go. And it can be especially hard though if you don't necessarily have the option to go into therapy. If you're living with your parents, or if you're young enough to not be paying any of your own bills or anything, it can, obviously I think it's a little bit easier, but for a lot of people my age who are just getting out of high school and going through a lot of changes, a lot of people are moving out onto their own. A lot of people don't have the resources available to get the help that they need, and it's tough because if you don't have insurance or if you're no longer covered by your parents' insurance or what have you, it is very tough. Therapy costs money just like everything else. And my advice to you, if you can't go to therapy or if you're just too afraid, my advice to you would be to take care of your immediate needs first. Make sure that you're eating properly every day. Make sure you're always hydrated. Make sure you get enough sleep. It sounds trivial, but those things can go a long, long, long way in just helping yourself in general. If you're neglecting to take care of yourself in the most basic of ways, then that's going to create a domino effect, and it is very, very, very easy to slip into a dangerous state of mind that way. So always drink water, eat at least 2 or 3 meals a day. I say 2 or 3 eating disorder, and eating can be a very scary thing sometimes. I know this because I am currently going through it, struggling with the mentality that food is the enemy. But I think it's really important that you at least try to step out of that mindset for a couple of seconds and realize that if you don't eat enough, you won't have enough energy. You will be very likely extremely irritable. We all know that feeling of being hungry, being hangry, or angry because we're hungry. And when you force yourself to not eat for long periods of time, that feeling only amplifies, even if you think it doesn't. And it's also another thing that can lead to somebody feeling isolated. I don't know if any of what I am saying is making sense, or if this helped at all. I'm not entirely sure what the protocol here is. I've just been grabbing random items on my desk to use to make sounds, and I don't know how well the microphone is picking them up. But now, the sound is Diamond Joker. It's not real diamond, I don't think. All of this nice jewelry that you see me fumbling with is costume jewelry that I got from my mother. Not that I'm complaining, because it still looks really nice. It's a really easy way to trick people into thinking that you're a lot more well off than you really are. Anyway. So, I think that just about concludes this video. I don't know if I ever really made a point, or if I made any sense, or if I've helped anybody, if anybody is even watching. But I will leave you with this. Life, it may seem like it's just, and I'm going to get a little crass here. It seems like it's just fucking you over and over and over again, with no chance to recover, no time to really process what's just happened, and it's just fucking you, and it's not using any lube, and it hurts a lot. But as we grow up, we find better ways to deal with our problems. We meet new people, better people. And I'm not going to say that it's going to get better, because, again, I don't know your situation. But you can get better, no matter your situation. There are always ways to help yourself, even if resources at all. If you have a phone, you have resources. There are always crisis numbers to call or text, and I'm gonna see if I can find any and put them in the description of this video. You can always talk to somebody, even if it's just for a couple of minutes. Sometimes just making some changes in your life can really help that. Sometimes the issue is that things have become